ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om and salutations to one and all. So yesterday we saw about the sense of identity and the sense of purpose, and how our sense of purpose depends on our sense of identity. What we think about ourselves, accordingly we determine our purpose also. Now, we also saw that in spite of what we achieve in life, there remains a sense of incompleteness. And hence a seeker who questions that is it possible to get out of that sense of incompleteness? Such a student, such a seeker goes to the teacher seeking the knowledge because outside one has tried a lot and one has not found any solution. So one inquiry one must do is that when do I feel incomplete? There is a sense of incompleteness, and when there is a sense of incompleteness, depending on my vasana, which is called as the past tendencies or impressions, I seek completeness in world of object, emotions or thoughts. So somebody seeks completeness in money, somebody seeks in pleasure, somebody seeks in watching a movie, somebody in a satsang. In different ways one seeks completeness. Each one's vasana will determine what type of object, emotion and thought one is pursuing. So when there is that sense of incompleteness, that vasana manifests as a desire. Desire manifests as thoughts and feelings. They manifest at the action level and one is out. So the seeker questions that when is it that I feel incomplete? Whenever I identify with the body, mind and intellect, that is the time I feel incomplete. When I am not identified with the body, mind, intellect, there is no sense of incompleteness. So identifying with the incomplete, I feel incomplete. Incompleteness is not my nature. That's the inquiry in Vedanta that one has to do. Today we feel that we are incomplete, incompleteness is my nature. Hence I want to become complete by getting something, becoming something. Vedanta says, can we question that? Is it true? Because if incompleteness was my nature, I would be very happy with it. Whatever is the nature of a thing, it is very comfortable in that. Fire is hot. There is no problem in that for fire, because that is the nature of fire. For everyone else that is a problem. It is hot because that's not their nature. The poison which is there in a snake does not kill the snake. And the snake has no problem with it because that's the nature in that snake. Same way, incompleteness which we experience, if it was our nature, we would be very comfortable with it. We would not want to become complete. We would not want to get rid of that incompleteness. So if we do the inquiry, we find that only when I identify with these which are incomplete, then only I feel incomplete. In the state of love, let us say, there is no sense of incompleteness. When there is total identification with the beloved, when there is complete surrender, there is no sense of incompleteness. When one is completely absorbed in the work that one is doing, no sense of incompleteness. Sometimes one doesn't know also, one has forgotten oneself also. One is so absorbed in that. And of course, deep sleep, no sense of incompleteness. So the sense of incompleteness arises only when the identification with the incomplete arises. So we always say that incompleteness is because of false identification. And why is there a false identification? Because awareness of the truth is not there. That my nature is Purna, my nature is complete, my nature is bliss. What I am seeking, I already am. Not as the incomplete BMI, not as the Jiva, but as the enlivening force, that which makes the BMI function. As that Om, I am already complete, my nature is Purnata. But I don't know that. Hence, in Vedanta, we always say that there is this cycle of ignorance. That ignorance leads to false identification. False identification leads to incompleteness. And incompleteness leads to vasanas. Vasana leads to desire. Now from vasana onwards, it's a cycle. Vasana, desire, thought, action, results, which further strengthens or weakens the vasana. Now this cycle is where one is caught. And in the majority of us, before we came to Vedanta, we did not even know that there is something called vasana. We only knew desire. So vasana leads to desire, leads to thought, leads to action, leads to result, which further strengthens or weakens the vasana. And that is what we call as a karma bandhan. That is a cycle of karma. To exhaust these vasanas, we keep taking births again and again and again. So punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Generally what happens is the jiva is trapped in these. So the more the vasana pressure, the more the desires, more disturb the mind, much more extroverted is the personality. Hence the capacity to turn within is not there. So what is happening is, this pressure of vasanas does not make a person even realize that one is in bondage. One feels that I should be seeking happiness outside, and that's a normal way of living. By grace of the Lord, some satsang comes across in one's life. You know, in the Upanishads, there is a story of this insect which has fallen in the whirlpool. Actually, it's in Panchadashi. The insect which has fallen in the whirlpool and is going round and round in the whirlpool. Helpless, absolutely helpless. Cannot come out of that. A saint or a Sadguru who is passing by sees that and out of compassion takes that insect out of the whirlpool, keeps it on the shores. Same way, by the grace of the Lord, the compassion of Sadguru, just imagine, did you and I have also the demand for Vedanta? We were oblivious of this whole knowledge, living this so-called normal life. A master like Gurudev comes into our life out of his compassion. He thought that this knowledge must go to more and more people. And it is his unconditional love and compassion that for 40 years and more he gave his best to us. By giving this knowledge of Vedanta, the highest service possible is that And he did that. So by the grace of the Lord, by the compassion of such great masters, we come to realize that I am actually bound. And such a seeker then starts inquiring that is it possible to get out of this cycle? From vasana to vasana is my cycle. I am going round and round. The first three factors, ignorance, false identification and incompleteness, one doesn't even know. So the only solution to get out of this cycle is the root cause, which is ignorance, must be destroyed. In the world there are many temporary relief methods which are available. When we feel the pressure of the desire, when we feel the disturbance of the mind, one may use the relief methods. One may go to one spa, relax, go play something, listen to some music, go out of town. So many relief methods are there, one can apply any of these. But the root cause, as long as it remains, this cycle we will be bound by. Hence, to gain the knowledge of the self, yesterday we saw tad vijnanartham sagurumeva bhigachet. To gain the knowledge of that absolute truth, or that which is my own true nature, which is the nature of Purnata, a person goes to the teacher that let me seek this knowledge of the self. As we saw, the knowledge of the self is such that we need preparation. Otherwise the mind is very restless, the mind is impure. So mala and vikshepa, these are the obstacles in gaining the knowledge. Mala is the 6 impurities, vikshepa is the restlessness or the fickleness of the mind. How both these will go? Mala goes when we do karma yoga. Throughout the day, whatever actions I am doing is called as karma. But when those actions become dedicated to a higher purpose, that dedication unites us. It unites the mind and the intellect. The vasana pressure in a person becomes lesser. When a person does karma with the attitude of dedication, that I dedicate it to my family, I dedicate it to the country, I dedicate it to this field. Abdul Kalam dedicated all his work to science. I dedicate it to my country. Or the highest, I dedicate it to the Lord. So action is karma, dedicated action is karma yoga. Such a dedicated action reduces the need for self-importance in us. So the vasana pressure reduces. The mind and the intellect, which otherwise want more and more appreciation, love, care, it demands, comes into the mode of giving, comes into the mode of dedication. So that personality becomes more integrated, selfishness reduces. So through the day when I am practicing this bhavana, that what is this dedicated to? In fact, Bhagavan says that in the Gita he says, Yat karoshi, whatever you do, yad ashnasi, whatever you eat, yad juhosi, whatever you offer in the sacrifice, dadasi, even whatever you give or the charity that you do, yat tapasyasi, whatever meditation you do, everything, tad kurushva madarpanam. Do it with the sense of dedication. How will that sense of dedication come in me? Only when I maintain the identity that I am a seeker and I am wanting the knowledge of the self. So all my actions are a dedication towards that. I am a seeker wanting to be one with the Lord. So all my actions are dedicated to the Lord. So till that sense of identity does not come in me that I am a sadhak, my entire day's actions will not become sadhana. Gurudev always used to roar, he would say that our religion is not a Sunday to Sunday religion. It is 24/7 and we have to live it 24/7 with that attitude that I am a sadhak. So such a seeker practices Karma Yoga through the day, through each and every action, reduces the selfishness. Also, practice 15 minutes of single pointedness or upasana. That hold on to a support, maybe the form of the Lord, the mantra of the Lord, the breathing. Some people use chakra, some people use creative visualization. Any support can be used, and the mind must be trained. That is called Abhyasa Yoga. Mind must be trained to become single pointed. If it wanders, bring it back to the support. If I am chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, the mind may wander. Bring it back again to Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. That practice of single pointedness has to be done. So these two are preparations that one must do for understanding or getting ready to understand Vedanta. One is practice of Karma Yoga throughout the day. Second is practice of Upasana, where 15 minutes at least I train the mind to be single pointed. And one more aspect of Upasana is, or single pointedness is, it will not help if I do Upasana only for 15 minutes, where I am trying to bring the mind to single pointedness. If through the day I practice single pointedness by doing one thing at a time, I bring the mind to focus easily. Today our lifestyle has become such that we are practicing multi-pointedness. Listening to music, doing the jogging, watching the TV, eating the food, drinking the tea, reading the newspaper, answering the cell phone while driving the car. So systematically, if I am doing more than one thing at a time, I am training the mind to be multi-pointed. So that same mind, when I am sitting in Upasana, will say that one part, let it keep doing Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Another part is at the office. Third part is at the, with some memory of the past. It is going on. Why? Because it says, I am so efficient. You have trained me, no? I will be efficient even in meditation. Practice of single pointedness is through the day. So two things. Karma Yoga, reduce the selfishness by dedicating the karma. And this has to happen consciously. I have to ask myself, what is my action dedicated to? Even simple actions. If I am doing exercise, one can dedicate it to the Lord, saying that this is to make my body fit so that I can do my duties well and my sadhana happens well, O Lord. Or I can do it with the bhavana that, in next 1 month my birthday is coming and I need to lose at least 5 kilos because there's a big party that I'm going to throw and people are going to come and they will say, wow, you lost so much of weight. The face of people when they listen to that, that much anand they may not get even in meditation. As much as they get when they listen, you really become slim, huh? You are working out. So I can do it with that bhavana that I will be praised, I will be healthy, I will be appreciated, or it is dedicated to the Lord. So every action has to be dedicated. Practice of Upasana has to be done 15 minutes in a day plus one thing at a time through the day. Now such a seeker who has done Karma Yoga, who is doing Karma Yoga, not that after one reaches the Guru, Karma Yoga ends. No. It is a bhavana that continues through the day. And the Upasana, single pointedness. Such a seeker, when one goes to the teacher and wants to know the truth, asks the question, inquires about the truth. So with a prepared mind, we can do inquiry, and inquiry gives rise to knowledge. How will the knowledge come to us? Knowledge comes in 3 steps. First, I listen to it. That is called as Shravanam. And this is a very, very important step of Shravan. Yesterday we saw that a prepared mind will know the truth just by listening. Other two steps are not required. Shravan itself is a sadhana. In sadhana there are different types of sadhana. What we spoke just now about karma yoga, about upasana, that is called the preparatory sadhana, where I am preparing the mind. The direct means of knowledge is Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. So all my preparation is to be able to listen carefully, with complete attention. That's the difference between listening and hearing. Listening is listening with complete alertness and attention. No cross ventilation. It goes from here straight here. Then I have listened, I have heard with attention. So Shravanam is defined as Tatparya Avadharanam, that is called as Shravanam. To determine the essence is called as Shravan. And this applies to everything, not just a lecture. Suppose I am reading a book, I must know the essence. Suppose I am reading Ramayana and we say, what is the essence of Ramayana? If we say that the essence of Ramayana is that we must fight the evil, that is not the essence of Ramayana. That is one of the lessons that you can learn. But if we say that the essence of Ramayana is devotion to the Lord and surrender of the ego, that's the essence of Ramayana. How to live in this world with dharma is the essence of Ramayana. If we say, what is the essence of the Gita? If someone says that the essence of the Gita is do your duty. Again, that is not the essence of the Gita. Essence of the Gita is to know you are that self. Gita is a moksha shastra. It is not dharma shastra. Do the duty is a part of that, no doubt. But that's not the essence. So to determine the essence is called as Shravanam. So in a lecture, what is the essence of, let us say, Swamiji is doing evening, the man of perfection. What is the essence of the man of perfection? If I am able to determine that a Sthita Prajna is like this is the way a Sthita Prajna lives, and this is what is our goal, then that is the essence. When we were studying Vedanta course, Tattvabodh is the first book we study in Vedanta. So Puja Guruji, Swami Tejomayananji, he took the book for us, and 1 month Guruji was there in the ashram and he taught us the book. So in between he would keep giving test at different stages. So at the end of the Tattvabodh, Guruji gave us a test and different questions were there, and one question was, who is a Jivan Mukta? So some of us wrote the answer. What is there in Tattvabodh? We learnt it, we understood, we wrote the answer. That just like a person feels so effortlessly at this moment that I am this human being, or I am this man, or I am this woman. That effortlessly when a person feels I am Brahman, that person is a Jivan Mukta. So we wrote. One of our brahmacharis wrote the answer. You know what he wrote? He wrote, I am Jivan Mukta. Yes. He actually got the essence. That the essence of studying Tattvabodh is to know that I am Jivan Mukta. Not a theoretical definition that, okay, Jivan Mukta means like this, like this, like this. So Shravanam means that to determine the essence is called Shravanam. So what is the essence of the entire Vedic literature or the Upanishads? Is to know that I am Brahman, number one. And this entire universe also is a manifestation of Brahman. If this I have determined, I have done my Shravanam well. I should determine that. Not that the scripture is telling me, so I know. I have to determine that my nature is, I am Brahman, is the essence of the scripture, and the world also is a manifestation of that Brahman. Brahman means, here it is indicated as Om, the self, consciousness. So Shravanam is Tatparya Avadharanam. And Shravanam removes this obstacle which we call as I don't know. There are three obstacles to the truth. I don't know, I can't understand, I can't experience. These are three obstacles. Even when the person goes to the teacher, the person goes with this humility that I don't know and really I want to know what is the truth. So that ignorance, to remove that ignorance, one has gone to the teacher. So the obstacle is the ignorance. How does it go? The first step is listen to the teacher. With that humility, with that surrender, that I want to know. So I don't know goes by Shravanam. When I determine that the essence is this, I have at least come to know now. Now even if I know that the essence is this, that my nature is not this body, mind, intellect, my nature is consciousness which enlivens, because of which I am alive, because of which the mind can feel, the intellect can think. There will be doubts. Because I have been taught all my life, I am this. Now suddenly to say that I am not this, there will definitely be a lot of doubts. So a person comes to have many questions because there is contrary knowledge. I have heard all my life that I am this and that I am this jiva and that I have to live in this world, I have to make a mark in this world, I have to live in such a way that I have to struggle, become successful. I have heard all that. Now Vedanta is telling me that I am not this. My nature is completeness. My nature is peace. My nature is love. So there is contrary knowledge. From what I have already known, now some new knowledge which has come, it is clashing. So there will be doubts. And if doubts are not there, there are only two possibilities. Either I am absolutely clear, or I am not thinking only. So knowledge will arise, clear knowledge will arise when this contrary, so-called contrary thoughts, they are resolved. So the second step is mananam. Man means to think. Mananam means to reflect. So more and more I reflect that how is it that I am this consciousness and not this body. Now how to reflect? Can I reflect on my own? So Vedanta says no. Reflect using the scriptural declaration, Shruti Pramana. Pramana is a valid means of knowledge. So use a valid means of knowledge, the time-tested knowledge of the Veda or the Upanishads. So that is to be used. That what is the scripture saying about who am I? Then logic has to be used. That why is it saying that I am not this body? So the logic will be there. That the seer is different from the seen. That I am able to see the watch, so I am not the watch. I am seeing the book, I am not the book. I am seeing the glass, I am not the glass. So the seer and the seen are different. Same way I see the body, am I the body? I am not the body. So that is logic. Am I what I have or am I different from what I have? Another way to express the same thing. I have a watch, I have a thermos, I have a glass, I have a table. Am I all this or am I separate from what I have? I am separate. Same way I have a body, I am not the body. So using the scriptural declaration, using the logic and using experience, Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti. What is the experience? That I am aware of this body only in one state, which is the waking state. Dream state, deep sleep state, I am not aware of this body. So when I am not aware of this body in these two states, yet I am, which means I exist apart from the body. That's the experience, Anubhuti. Many such experiences. As we said in the beginning, when the mind is absorbed in the work that I am doing, I am not aware of the body. So, Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti, using that one must reflect. And this is important because on one's own analysis, if I just sit and think, I may not even come to the right conclusion. I may land up in a wrong conclusion. So using Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti, when the doubts are cleared. So the result of Shravanam is determination of the truth, Tatparya Avadharanam. The result of Mananam is conviction and clarity about the truth. That yes, I am that. I am not this body, mind and the intellect. So Mananam is defined as Yukti Bihi Anuchintanam. To constantly reflect. Anu means to do again and again. Because our identification is very, very deep. I live as the body. Again and again I have to remind myself, I am not the body. I have a body, I am not the body. I have a body, I am not the body. That practice of rejection of who I am not and assertion of who I am, that I am this Om or I am Chidananda Rupa. That practice of negating who I am not and asserting who I am is called as Nididhyasan. Because even if logically I know that I am not this body, my experience because of many, many lives is I still am this body. That experience is of this body, of the finitude. So that is called as Viparit Bhavana. Even if I have knowledge, my experience is contrary. How will that experience go? That goes only by Nididhyasan, to again and again tell the mind when it is in a state of quietude that I am not this body, mind, intellect, but I am that pure consciousness. So this abhyas has to be done. Nididhyasan, abhyas again and again when one contemplates. Then the false identification will reduce. And that is what we actually have to do to experience the self. What will this do? It will only negate the false identification. This Nididhyasan does not create the self. So many times when we sit, today the word meditation is such a word that people add meditation to anything. Eating meditation, laughing meditation, walking meditation. Because one thinks that to make the mind quiet or to just make it single pointed or focused is meditation. In fact, Gurudev used to define, he would say that meditation is not a verb, it is a noun. So it is a state of being. You cannot do meditation, you can only be in meditation. The practice that leads us to that state is called as contemplation or Nididhyasan. And it is nothing to do with eating, talking, walking. It has nothing to do with that. The contemplation is, I am not this body, mind, intellect, I am that self. That clarity has to translate into bhavana, into experience. So Shravanam removes the obstacle, I don't know. Now I have determined the truth, so I know what is the truth, what I am not. Mananam removes the doubts. So I can't understand. It removes that. So all the doubts, when they go away, the clarity and conviction comes. And Nididhyasan removes I can't experience, because my experience is contrary. So by repeated practice of Nididhyasan, that Jiva Bhav that I have is transformed into Brahma Bhav, that yes, I am that Brahman. The conviction translates into experience. So with a quiet mind, all that we said earlier, Karma Yoga, Upasana, makes the mind quiet, makes the mind and intellect integrated. Only such an integrated mind and intellect, in Vedanta we call such an integrated personality as heart, the Hridaya. So when we say that the self is in your own heart, what is that Hridaya? The pure mind, subtle intellect, which is attained by practice of Karma Yoga and Upasana. When this integrated mind and intellect has done the sadhana of listening and reflecting, Nididhyasan will happen. With such a mind and intellect, in the Hridaya, one contemplates on the truth that I am that Supreme Brahman, I am not this body, mind, intellect. That person awakens to the truth. That person gets established in that realization that yes, I am Brahman. That person is called as a Jivan Mukta. So this text, Nirvana Shatkam, is a text which is meant for Nididhyasan. This long introduction from yesterday till today is to make us aware that how we have to do this. How we have to understand this text and use this text for Nididhyasan. Actually, this is not a text on which we have to give talks. We don't have to even reflect on this text. It is only meant for internal Nididhyasan. A person who has had the conviction now wants to experience it by removing the contrary knowledge. So every shloka of this, there are 6 verses, so Shatkam. Every shloka of this composition has 4 quarters. In 3 quarters, the negation is done. Not this, not this, not this. And in the last one, that is the common line in every shloka, is Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. And why this method is followed? Because our identification is so powerful, we identify with this body, mind, intellect as the Jiva, that even if I tell myself that I am that Chidananda Rupa, we are not able to lift the mind to that. Hence the practice for a long time has to be to negate the attachment, to negate the false identification that I am not this. When that false identification becomes lesser and lesser, to that proportion our understanding and abidance of that truth also will increase. So what has to be done for these verses? Nididhyasan is a very, very subtle practice. The mind has to be withdrawn from the world outside, brought to quietude. So from the world outside we focus the attention to the body, from the body to the breath, from the breath to the mind, from the mind to the buddhi. Now in the buddhi we are chanting. We use the verses, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham. Pay attention to those words. Let them go deep. Just like if you drop a coin, let us say, in a bucket of water. If the water is very steady, that coin will go straight away down and it will settle down there. In the same way, in a quiet mind, let these words just go deep inside. Don't intellectually think that I am not the mind, I am not the body. What we have to do is lift the mind to the bhavana that this conveys. That when it says that Mano Buddhi Hankara Chittani Naham, if I have done my reflection well, I will come to that bhavana where I feel that yes, I am not this and I am that. So Gurudev always used to say that lift your mind to that state which these words indicate. Don't simply hold on to the words, don't intellectualize, don't think about their meaning and whatever the commentary has been given on it. Do I feel that yes, I am not the mind? As we do the talks on that, we will understand the significance, so that when we understand the significance, in the state of meditation, we just lift contemplation, we lift our mind. That bhavana, that yes, I am Chidananda Rupa, just stay in that bhavana. Don't bring any association of ideas. Lift the mind to that state, be in that bhavana. If the mind brings any other thought, repeat Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, again lift the mind to the bhavana. It is not intellectual verbalization. It is not using logic. All that has to be done in Mananam stage. So right now what we are doing is Shravan. Gurudev formed our study groups so that once a week we meet, systematically study the scriptures. In that study group we have to do Mananam, so that there is, the doubts get cleared and there is intellectual clarity and conviction. And then in the seat of contemplation, individually, I lift my mind to the bhavana that is indicated. I'll give you a simple example. Suppose I say, Prakash, come here. If somebody in the audience is sitting whose name is Prakash, what will that person do? That person will come here, right? Will that person think that somebody called Prakash is being called? No. Will that person think that Prakash means light? So light is being called. Will that person intellectually think like that? No. What will the person think? The person drops the word, the person drops the meaning of the word, and person takes what is indicated, that Prakash means me. So I am being called. So what has the person done? Drop the word, drop the meaning of the word, hold on to what is being indicated by the word and act. So Prakash, come here means I am being called, so he will come. That is what we have to do. And this, we experience this in every aspect of life. Suppose we say that I love you. That word love is only a medium. What is it being conveyed? Bhavana is being conveyed. So the person drops the word, the person drops the meaning of the word love. Love means identification with the beloved. So the person is thinking that I and he are one. Do we think any time like this? We don't think. We just feel. No? The moment somebody says I love you, we feel, no, he loves me. Over. We drop the word, we drop the meaning of the word, and we feel the bhavana. So Nididhyasana is not something very difficult that we do, that which we don't do. All that we have to do is the same, but turn the direction within. That I am not this body, mind, intellect. When we say Chidananda Rupa, so I drop the word Chidananda, I drop the meaning of the word, that Chit means consciousness, Anand means bliss. Having understood Chit means consciousness and Anand means bliss, I lift my mind to that state and be there. That is what the Nididhyasana is, and that is what we have to do. So today, we will just see the first verse. We will enter into the text. Just play the first verse. Subtle body. It is called as subtle because it is not perceptible through the senses. Gross body is perceptible through the senses. Subtle body is not perceptible through the senses. So what is the subtle body? Mana, mind. the seat of emotions. Buddhi, the seat of thinking. Chitta is memory. Ahankar is perceiver, feeler, thinker, the doer. I, the experiencer. So he says, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittani, na aham. I am not these. Nacha Shrotra Jihve. I am not even the senses. He is not negating the sense organs. Sense organs, sorry. Shrotra is the ears. Jihva is the tongue. Ghrana, nose. Netre, the eyes. Nacha Shrotra Jihve, Nacha Ghrana Netre. So I am not the senses. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the memory. I am not the ego. I am not the five elements. Vyoma is the space. Bhumi, the air, the earth. Teja, fire. Vayu, the air. Then who am I? Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am pure consciousness and bliss. Now this is the literal meaning of the shloka. We spoke about the cycle of ignorance, we spoke about bondage, that how we are trapped. Where is that bondage felt? That bondage is felt in our subtle body, the mind and the intellect. And where does the knowledge of the truth also arise? In the subtle body only. It is because of the buddhi that I am aware that I am a human being. It is because of the buddhi that self-awareness is possible. So in the Upanishad it is said that mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind itself is the cause of bondage and mind itself is the cause of liberation. So that mind which is attached to the objects is the cause of bondage. That mind which gets detached is the cause of liberation. So when we say mind, intellect, memory, ego, I am none of these, one is negating the false identification with this mind and intellect, because without this, body is inert. Body cannot even function. We don't even know anything unless there is mind and intellect within us. So the very first shloka is to negate this subtle body, because of which we feel bondage. And by negating the subtle body is the means to realize. Four aspects are there to this subtle body. Mind is the seat of emotions. So when I say I am not the mind, what does that mean? All the emotions that arise in me, they are very temporary. They come and they go. I get attached to that emotion. I become one with that emotion. So I go up and down with that emotion. So anger is an emotion that arises in the mind. Vedanta says, anger arises in you, you are not angry. At the moment, I am so attached to that feeling of anger that I feel I am angry. So that word I is not known to me clearly. I keep attaching myself to different upadhis. Hence this Nirvana Shatkam is also called as Atma Shatkam. That through this I am trying to find out who am I actually. So I am not the emotion, because emotions come, they go. I remain the same. I was peaceful, then anger came. After some time anger went, again I am peaceful. That I remains the same. That's why Gurudev's famous, one of the very favorite expressions of Gurudev was the expression from the Gita. Natvaham teshu te mai. They are in me, I am not in them. This can be practiced even in the daytime. Through the day, when the emotions are arising in the mind, I can tell myself, they are in me, I am not in them. Anger arises, I say, anger has come in me, I am not angry. So I give a space. I detach myself from that anger. And just like I see the object, I see anger also. That it comes. I see love, I see happiness, I see jealousy, I see pride. All these emotions, they come in me, they stay for some time and they go. I am not in them. So to detach myself from that emotion is to detach, to say that I am not the mind. To detach myself from the intellectual concept, because buddhi is thinking, intellectual thinking. To detach myself from any concept is to say that I am not the buddhi. To detach myself from any memory of the past, because memories trouble us. Either they create desire if it is a favorable memory, or if it is an unfavorable memory, it creates disturbance or pain. So the mind, so the person gets disturbed in either case. So mana, buddhi, chitta, I am not. Ahankara also I am not. This sense of I remains in waking and dream state. It is not there in the deep sleep state. So it manifests, it becomes unmanifest. More details about this we will see as we proceed tomorrow. For now, we will just spend 5-10 minutes in making the mind quiet and lifting our state of mind to the state of the self. Please sit erect. The head, the neck, and the spine in a straight line. Close your eyes gently. For the next 10 minutes, I am steady and still without any movement. Be aware of the happenings around you. The various sounds, the feel of the chair, the ground below your feet, the warmth in the atmosphere. Bring the mind into the present by being aware of the happenings around you. Be aware of the body, from the head to the toes. Mentally scan through the whole body. As though you are standing apart from the body and watching this body. The body is made up of the 7 dhatus. I have a body. I am not the body. Be aware of the breath. Let the breathing be slow, steady, and deep. Be aware of each and every inhalation and exhalation. In the space between the two eyebrows or in your heart, visualize a circle of white light. And invoke the auspicious form of the Sadguru or the Lord. You are in front of the Sadguru with folded hands, seeking the grace and blessings that may we have the Vivek Vairagya, Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutvam to contemplate on the self. With all devotion and gratitude, we surrender ourselves to the Sadguru, the Lord. Together let us chant. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Offer some flowers at the feet of the Sadguru or the Lord. May the grace of the Sadguru, the Lord, lead us, guide us, and protect us. Now let us contemplate on the self. Lift the mind to the state of the self, negating all the false identification.
मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं 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 सदा चिन्मयोऽहं सदा सच्चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं 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 सदा चिन्मयोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागौ न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मेनैव मात्सरीयभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थो न वेदा न यज्ञाः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं सदा चिन्मयोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं सदा चिद्घनोऽहं सदा सच्चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपः विभुर्व्याप्य सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां सदा मे समत्वं न मुक्तिर्न बन्धः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं सदा चिन्मयोऽहं सदा सच्चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं 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 सदा चिद्घनोऽहं शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्
by the grace of the Lord and blessings of the Sadguru, may our mind abide in the self. Visualize that you are offering some flowers at the feet of the Sadguru for the Lord.
Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Rub your palms, place them on the face and gently open the eyes.